因为
你那个空间不够了，好像是我看着。哦，我开了。
OK，那我们
看到
开始吧。
了。
OK. Good evening, everyone, and good evening to all the ladies. Welcome to today's expert discussion forum. As we all know, the ocean is full of amazing life, from colorful coral reefs to fast-swimming sea animals. They all play a big part in keeping Earth healthy. But today, problems like plastic pollution, rising sea temperatures, and overfishing are putting this life in danger. We are honored to have 4 experts with us today. Expert Li Yilan, expert Chen Yu, expert Yuan Ning, and the expert Guo Jiayi. They will help us understand these issues better and share possible ways to protect our oceans. We hope you find today's discussion helpful and that you will join in the exchange of ideas. Now, let's begin. First, let's welcome expert Guo Jiayi to give her talk.
Okay, I'm speaking today as a marine environmental protection specialist. My main focus is marine debris, one of the most significant environmental threats to marine ecosystem worldwide. I read a paper by Philo and others, published in 2025, titled Toward More Sustainable Oceans. I will use this study as an example in the following discussion. The continued growth of marine debris pose serious risk to marine life and even human health. To truly reduce its impact, we must control pollution from the source and urge governments to carry out strong and effective policies. Let me outline my 3 key arguments. First, most marine debris come from land-based activities. Philo and others 2025 in their study on review of the pressing challenges posed by marine debris reported that plastic bottles are often carelessly discarded on beaches or in inland areas, transported into the sea through rivers and rainfall. These plastics are lightweight and easily carried by sea winds and ocean currents, which helps them move far away. This is why I agree that focusing only on cleanup effort is not enough. We must control pollution at its source. Second, national policies and governments remain weak, especially in island nations. Although more countries are recognizing the impact of marine debris, many public lack effective implementation. Philo and others 2025 reported that some island nations don't have policies in place. However, due to limited human and financial resources, the ability to manage is significantly limited. Moreover, many governments lack local scientific data. When developing these publics, many them less relevant and effective. Third, a lack of research limits our ability to find long-term solutions. Philo and others 2025 in their study on review of the pressing challenges posed by marine plastic litter reported that current academic research focusing heavily on Europe regions. However, the regions most affected, such as small island developing nations, receive little attention. This imbalance leads to major outcome. The problem is that it becomes more challenging to evaluate. Without scientific evidence, we are effectively operating blind. In conclusion, Marine debris is not just an environmental issue, it is also a governance challenge and a scientific gap. If we don't improve in policies and if we don't improve policies and scientific research, at the same time, we won't be able to solve this global problem. It is our responsibility as specialists, as policy makers, and as a global citizen to take meaningful action. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, expert Guo Jiayi, for your great presentation. I've learned that marine trash is a big danger to sea life and also to human health. The causes include poor control of waste from land, weak laws, and research that mostly focus on Europe instead of more polluted places. To fix this, we need stronger rules, better public education, efforts to stop plastic at the source, and fair research across all regions. Once again, thank you, expert Guo Jiayi, for your clear and helpful talk. Okay, now let's welcome expert Li Yilan to share her insights.
Hello, and I'm happy to come here. And hello, our experts. My name is Li Lan. My expert role is underwater bioclimate impact analysis. One thing I think is really serious comes from Bohr and others in 2022. They said the ocean is now warming faster than at any point in the last 20,000 years, and I feel that's something we can't ignore, especially in areas full of marine life. The heat is rising too fast, and the sea animals don't have time to adjust or move away. What makes this worse is that this warming isn't natural. It's mostly caused by humans. That's why I think it's not just fast. It's also abnormal and very harmful for the whole ocean system. And the second point, one thing that really stood up to me is that Bohr and others explained in 2022 is how far marine species have to move, some even over 2,000 kilometers. That's huge. It's not just about finding colder water, it's about leaving the places where they feed, breed, and survive, like coral reefs. And many may end up in completely different environments that don't match what they need. I feel that more than just a shift, it's a serious disruption of this ecosystem. Finally, something I personally think we really need to pay attention to is how tropical areas are suffering the most, and which is comes from Bohr and others in 2022 made it clear that around 93% of marine biodiversity hotspots are in the tropics. But the species there are very sensitive to temperature changes because they've lived in stable climates for so long. They also cannot move easily or far. So even a small warming can lead to massive losses. In my view, that's where the biggest risk lies and why these places need urgent focus. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, expert Yilan, for your excellent presentation. These 3 points really stood out to me. First, ocean temperatures are rising faster this century than at any time in the past 20,000 years. And second, this forces animals to move far from their normal homes. Third, tropical areas with the most sea life are the most at risk. From this, I can feel how serious ocean warming is. It's happening faster than ever before. It's forcing sea creatures to move, which upsets the balance of nature, and the most diverse, beautiful parts of the ocean are the most sensitive. This reminds us that ocean warming isn't just numbers, it's a real crisis. And we must take action now. Thank you again, expert Li Lan. Your sharing helped me understand much more. And now let's invite expert Chen Yu. I'm really looking forward to hearing what she has to say. Let's welcome her.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chen Yu, a marine policy analyst dedicated to bridging science and policy for ocean conservation. Today, we will dive into overfishing, a critical threat to marine ecosystem and global food security, and explore solutions aligned with SDG 14. Why does this matter? Overfishing isn't just a number game, it's a crisis threatening the very foundation of our planet's biodiversity. Let's break it down. First, consider the staggering scale of overexploitation. According to ARA 2023, global fish and seafood consumption has quadrupled over the past 50 years, driving over one-third of marine species, including sharks, rays, and tuna, to the brink of extinction. Top predators are vanishing 80% faster than nature can replenish them. Our 2023 page 435. This isn't just an ecological tragedy, it's a threat to the ocean's ability to regulate carbon, purify water, and sustain coastal economics. Second, the root causes: illegal practice and weak governance. IUU, also called illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing, accounts for 26 million tons of annual fish loss and $23 billion in economic damage, ARA at 2023. That's equivalent to emptying 26,000 Olympic pools of fish each year, all stolen from our shared oceans. While 75 countries have signed the Port State Measures Agreement, also called PSMA, to combat this, 40% of global ports lack the resources to enforce it, creating blind spots for illegal traffickers. This isn't just about lawbreaking, it's about systemic failure to protect a public good. Now, the good news: solutions exist. Policy strengthening: we need binding quotas and global accountability mechanisms to hold nations and corporations responsible. The PSMA must be enforced universally, with penalties for non-compliance. Technological innovation tools like AI-powered satellite tracking can monitor 1,000 more fishing vessels in real time. In 2024, such system reduced IUU in the Indian Ocean by 35%. These are complementary. Science gives us the tools, policy gives us the will. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, expert Chen Yu, for your amazing talk. I learned so much. You explained that in the last 50 years, the amount of fish people eat has gone up 4 times. More than one-third of topic predators like sharks and rays are now at risk of dying out. Also, IUU fishing causes a loss of 26 million tons of fish and $23 billion every year. To solve this, you suggested using AI and status to catch illegal fishing, improving international laws, and using science and technology to research suitable development. Goal 14.4. This made me realize that this isn't just about fish, it's about how we live with nature. Next time we eat seafood, we should think about whether it's harming the ocean. Protecting the ocean means protecting ourselves. Thank you again, expert Chen Yu. I truly enjoyed your talk. And finally, let's invite expert Yuan Ying to share her ideas.
Thank you, moderator, and thank you for the expert coming today. As the fifth panelist today, I'll be sharing key insights on how nuclear wastewater discharge may affect global aquatic product trade. I'm the nuclear wastewater discharge impact analyst. The analysis I'm sharing comes from a 2025 study by Zhang and colleagues, which used the UN trade data to build global safe trade networks. They simulated how nuclear wastewater discharge, like what might happen with Japan's release, could affect trade in both the short term 3 years and long term 10 years. Zhang found that countries with large seafood export sectors are the most affected over time. Specifically, Japan's export losses are projected to reach $1.79 billion over 10 years, far more than those of China, $1.32 billion, and Chile, $1.31 billion. This shows how the nuclear-related event can seriously damage a country's export reputation, leading to lasting trade consequences, even if the actual contamination risk is limited. The same study also pointed out that small, highly dependent importers experience more severe short-term disruptions. For instance, Tanzania, which relies heavily on just a few suppliers, could see its aquatic product imports fall by 44.44% within 3 years. That's the largest drop among all countries in the simulation. This tells us that when a crisis hits, smaller economies with concentrated trade partners are much more vulnerable than diversified ones. Another important insight from Zhang is that quick and targeted trade policies can limit the damage to global trade systems. For example, when China bans Japanese seafood imports, the overall global seafood trade volume dropped by only 0.62%. That's a surprisingly small impact, suggesting that with timely, focused action, governments can contain the disruptions and maintain trade stability. In summary, this study gave us a clear message. Nuclear wastewater discharge can reshape seafood trade, harming major exporters over time and causing immediate stress for smaller importers. But it also shows that strong international cooperation and adaptive policymaking can help reduce the damage. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, expert Yuan Ning, for your great talk. From what you cite, I learned that your research uses UN trade data to show how nuclear wastewater affects seafood trade in both short-term and long-term periods. Japan's seafood export dropped the most over time with a loss of $1.791 billion in the short term. Tanzania seafood imports fall by 44.44%, showing that smaller countries are more affected. Also, when China stopped buying Japanese seafood, world trade only dropped by 0.62%. This shows that international teamwork and smart policies can help reduce the impact. This isn't just about numbers, it's about how people understand the global risk. When the sea becomes a carrier for pollution, the pain will come back in economic loss. But every small decision we make together is a step towards a better future. Thank you again, expert Yuan Ning. Your talks was very inspiring. Today, we talked about major threats to sea life like pollution, warming, and overfishing. We also realized that protecting the ocean isn't far away topic. It affects coral reefs, fish, and even our future as humans. Thanks again to all four experts and to everyone here today. In fact, taking actions can be simple. Using fewer plastic bags or choosing eco-friendly seafood can already help. Let's take what we've learned today and turn it into action. Thank you all. 结束了。